What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Love and Rice with your host, Aunt Ma, and host, Christina Ma. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about why Christina doesn't want to go out by herself or with the kids ever since we've had kids. So prior to that, you used to go out by yourself all the time with friends and things like that. And now it's totally different for you. So in this episode, we're going to try and figure out how we can change that and also figure out what the whole reason is behind all this.
Okay.
So why don't you want to go out?
So I think the main thing with me wanting to stay home all the time and not go out. Wait, so I guess my question for you is it going out with the kids or just going out on my own?
Well, I guess the biggest reason right now is you don't want to go out with the kids, right?
Yeah.
I would take them to the park. I would take them to the movies. I want to do all these things with the kids just so I can bond with them, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm out working all the time, you usually stay home with the kids. I'm like, oh, why didn't you just take them out?
I think I've always been a homebody. So I just like staying at home all the time. And I feel like everyone's in their comfort zone. Everyone is comfortable. Like we don't have to really worry about like any external factors to worry about. So for me, I like to stay in because I get really paranoid about going out with the kids.
Why?
Because there have been so many incidents with like kids being involved, and there are a lot of like
Involved in what?
Well, there are a lot of things like when we're back home in California and we're living in West Covina, I kept hearing all these stories about the Target that we're always going to about people who are like following specifically moms with kids, like young kids, or they'll be following them around the aisle. They'll be kind of like holding up their phone, taking pictures, doing videos, like obvious too. And there are a lot of like allegations of like child trafficking and kidnapping and stuff. And that was like one thing that I was so afraid of.
But when you go to Target and you're shopping, I see a lot of kids and moms there too,
True, but
So why is it stopping you?
So before I used to go out all the time on my own because I used to always carry something on me, whether it was pepper spray, a knife, or mace, or a taser even.
Yeah.
But for me, like I felt comfortable and safe because I only had to worry about myself.
Okay.
So now that women are being targeted and kids are being targeted, like if I had to defend the three of us, like I would be completely outnumbered. So it makes me paranoid because one, I have to protect myself and make sure that I'm safe. And two, I have to make sure, two and three, I have to make sure that both of the kids are safe too.
Yeah.
While trying to defend myself. So that's something that I don't ever want to be just to ever happen to me.
So because of that, you just don't go out.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think also because I've had times where I went out with the kids and it'd just be like going out to go eat, for example. And it's so exhausting.
It is. I mean, but sometimes I just want to take Leia to an ice cream store.
Yeah.
And, just have a bonding dad and daughter moment, have her enjoy ice cream,
Yeah. Well,
Or I want to take them to the park and let them live their childhood and just have fun.
yeah, I think if it's just one kid and I were to take them to the park, I think I've done that before.
Yeah.
But I just worry too about like stranger danger and other people.
Okay. So what can we do to change that? Like, is there, would you do martial arts classes, self-defense classes?
Yeah, so I am in the process of signing up for some kickboxing classes.
Okay.
So that's something that I've been wanting to do for myself for a really long time. And also that is one of the reasons, like I want to be able to learn that and have some kind of, learn a lot of self-defense.
But that's for exercising, right? Kickboxing?
Yeah, but it's kind of a little bit of both too. They kind of teach you like self-defense.
But is that at a gym or is it an actual like martial arts facility?
It's at a kickboxing place specifically for kickboxing.
Oh,
only.
okay. So
Yeah.
it's not exercising.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of both, but that's definitely something I've been wanting to do so I feel more comfortable if I were to take the kids out anywhere.
Right. Because there's a big difference between the classes where, people just have like at the gym and they just have those body bags and you just punch those things or kick those things. But then there's ones where they have an actual boxing ring in the facility and then you get a spar. They give you shin pads and all these things to really practice?
I don't know because I haven't been there yet, but I'm probably going to be going in the next couple of weeks. But I know this place is like their main focus. The name of the place involves kickboxing.
I mean, it's like you got to do a lot of stuff, right? So now you got to learn how to fight for your life.
Yes.
Then you got to get your cardio going because if they take the kids, you got to run after the kids.
I know. And
right?
I think about that all the time.
So I think living in California, it's a lot scarier because you can only carry the pepper spray, right? Knives, we can't even really carry them because it's illegal. So we illegally carry it. You can't carry a gun on you. But now that we live in Vegas, we just applied for our CCW, which if you guys don't know what that is a concealed carry weapon permit license that allows us to carry a gun on our body, in our purse, or whatever it is that we want to do. And so if something were to happen, you can pull it out and shoot. Right. So how do you feel now being in Vegas and having, getting that CCW?
I think it feels pretty good. I've always been a little kind of like standoffish about having a weapon on me.
Yeah.
But, I think it's a good thing to be able to carry it. I feel like I actually am given options in case like anything were to happen. So it's just nice to know that I have that extra layer of security and protection.
To be honest, I never want to use a gun on anybody.
I don't think anyone does.
Because I don't want to kill anybody.
Right.
I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to get sued. Like, I don't want any of that to happen, right? And then, like, if someone comes into the house and we shoot them, I don't want to shoot anybody in my house because if they die, we're going to get a ghost in our house.
Yeah, and then...
So it's like, I want to pull that robber outside of the front of the house and then shoot them so I don't have a ghost.
They also have to be facing us, too. So there's...
Of course. You can't shoot them in the back.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, right? So I think we're doing things the right way because there are a lot of gun owners maybe who just have it illegally and they haven't taken the proper classes. They don't know like what the protocols are and the laws and everything. And I think for us taking these courses and applying for the license, I feel more comfortable about it.
Yeah.
And before even taking the classes, I was kind of worried about like, oh, what do I do if something happens or this scenario? And I played all these different scenarios in my mind. But now I kind of have a better idea of how to be more careful if I had to use it.
So for me, when I go out, I think about the same things too. Like when I'm with the kids or when I'm with you and I see someone looking at us, I'm like, why is this person looking at us? What are they about to do?
Yeah.
So now I'm in defense mode. I'm like, all right, we're about to get down. But it's like, if someone's really going to try and traffic and kidnap, then even my self-defense probably can't save us because they might have a whole team, right? One in the car, a couple people in the store. So it's like they might two people might grab each kid and run away. Then what are you going to do? Or someone's going to try and take me out first or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think about that stuff all the time. And even though I've been, taking Kung Fu classes ever since I was a little kid, like 5 years old, like, I can fight. But at the same time, none of that might not even matter.
Yeah, and I think that's like the added stress to it too, because like if we were on our own and we had to protect ourselves, like we would have each other's backs. But then if something were to happen, it's like, okay, you have to deal with them. I have to watch the kids. I have to get them in safely and then try to come back to help you,
So the way I prepare for it is when I go to the markets or anywhere, I always think about something as you. Something can go down, right? So I'm always in alert mode and I'm looking at everything in the environment, the entire atmosphere, and I'm just cautious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing I noticed about you when we first started dating is that anytime we would go eat at a restaurant, you always had to be facing the entrance of the restaurant. And I realized that you do that because you like to see who's coming in, who's coming out. And if anything were to happen, it always happens right at the entrance of the restaurant or store.
Because when I was young, I got in a lot of fights. There was a lot of enemies. It was a lot of gang stuff back then, right? So if I went to a restaurant and my back was towards the door, I can't see who's coming in. I might get socked from behind and I'm knocked out, right? So I always got to see who's coming in just to be aware of my surroundings.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference too with guys and girls, because I never really had to think about that. But I guess...
Yeah, I always got to protect myself.
Right.
Right?
That's smart.
Now I have different ways of... it's a little different with the family. It's not myself. Now it's the kids and everything. So now I'm a little more laid back. I don't have to sit facing the doorways anymore because I can enjoy my time with you guys while we're at a restaurant. but I am looking everywhere no matter what.
Yeah, I think we both are doing that now. And I feel like that actually happens more often now because we have kids. So we're just like on extra alert.
For sure.
Yeah. And one thing that I do, well, one thing I used to do when it was just me was I used to always park my car like in the back of the parking lots because I didn't want to park next to all the other people where all the other cars are, where my car would get hit or dinged or something, right?
Yeah.
And now that I have the kids, I like to park where there are a lot of people, like closer to the
same
front.
here. Yeah, you want to be where you're in the public's eye, right? You want to be everywhere. So it's the same thing like when they have these catalytic converters being stolen. I used to park my truck far away because I don't want my truck to get hit because my car is so big. And so when people get out of the spaces, I come back to my car and there's either dents, scratches, like a whole scratch all along the car. And I'm like, oh my God, these people don't like.
I feel like it happens a lot now too.
So I would park far away.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, the last time I parked far away, someone tried to steal my catalytic converter.
Exactly.
So I'm like, no, now I just got to put my car with everybody else so other eyes can see it.
Yeah. And another thing too is like we always reverse park.
Yeah.
Because of any situation. So if you're getting into the car, we like to reverse park so that we can see what's in front of us and kind of our surroundings. And if we were to get in and caught up in any situation, at least we would be able to get out a lot quicker.
Yeah. So they call that G parking. And a lot of people are like, why do Asians always G park? Well, everyone has their own reasons, but ours is safety. It's like, if we can just drive off right away, that is the fastest way. Or if someone was going to block you in, you would have to reverse and hit their car and then try to turn and go forward. But if you G parked it, you would just slam into their car, get them out of the way and go.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's funny because I've been doing that for so long that I don't even know how to front park too well. Every time I try, I'm like, nope, I can't do it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah. Another safety tip I would say is that when I'm loading the kids into the car and it's just me, I always do it where my back is towards the door.
Yeah.
So then I'm buckling them in, but I can also see like to the side of me and behind the car or in front of the car.
Being in Vegas is so different from LA, right? So when we're in LA and we're in this like Albertsons parking lot at the grocery store and someone starts looking at me, I'm like, what's this fool about to do? You know, I feel like he's about to attack me, right?
Yeah,
or steal the car.
I think it really just depends on the area because now that we're in a better neighborhood, the vibe is completely different. Because before, like we're so used to like living in the hood, and there would be homeless people all the time. You still see little like
or just gangsters.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but now living in Vegas, when I'm in these Albertson parking lots and people look at me, like. They say hi first. Yeah. They'll see me putting the kids into the car seat and they're like, hey, you know, I had one time like this old white grandpa. And he's like, hey, let me help you take the shopping cart away because you're putting your kids away in the seat. I'm like, whoa,
that's so nice.
Because normally that doesn't happen in LA.
Yeah. Or if it were to happen, you'd be like, no, I'm okay. Right. I'll just do it myself.
Or it'd be the younger person would help the older person put the shopping cart away.
That's true.
It's reverse here. You know what I mean? And I think because out here it's so much more chill. There's no traffic, right?
Right.
And then so no one's like laser focused or has to get somewhere. Like we'll get anywhere within a certain amount of time because there's no traffic. But when you're in LA, it takes an hour, it takes a lot longer. You're frustrated through the traffic and you're like, oh man, I gotta get this done in like 10 minutes. That's all I got. And I gotta drive back in traffic. So when you see someone, you're like, don't talk to me, right?
Yeah, that's true. Everyone's just already so like anxious and angry because of all of the external factors around you.
You're either focused on yourself or you're on high alert. But when you're in a chill area like Vegas and someone looks at you, you're just like, oh, hi, how's it going? Yeah. You know, so it's just way different.
That's true.
So I feel like living in Vegas, you know, you could try and take the kids out more.
Yeah, I think the one reason why I don't right now is because I don't know the area well enough. So I want to get familiar with it first, kind of see like who the neighbors are, what type of people are hanging out at like these specific parks.
And you got to scope it out.
I do.
We got to go to the park, scope it out, and, you know, see what happens.
Yeah.
Got to play a little detective.
Yeah. If that is the case and I can do that, then I would be more comfortable for sure.
Well, that's great. That's a great way to start. So I hope you guys learned a little bit of tips that we've talked about right now. If you guys have any concerns or comments, leave them down below. Make sure you follow us on the Love and Rice podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, anywhere you list podcast platforms, we're there. And we'll see you guys next time.